Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of The Professor's Picks. Alongside, there he is, the man of the hour, Mr. Ken Golden, the professor himself from the Laser's
Hey,
Edge. What's
what's
happening?
going on?
Oh, a little of this, a little of that. Keep him busy. A lot of new stuff coming in of late. I am back to having a whole big stack of stuff that I'm waiting to get to. So that's why I'm
There's
trying to review things as quickly as possible, but it's not always easy.
yeah. Well, it's just seems this year it's really busy. It seems like it's just starting out busier, like January usually starts really slow and oh,
Not
it's
this year.
great. It's
Yeah.
great. I don't want it to slow down.
Can't
So
complain, right? Yeah. Absolutely.
I'll complain anyway. I like to complain, It's my nature, I'm Jewish. I have to complain about some things, know. Yeah. So you ready to hit it?
I'm ready. Our, our,
All
our
right.
Mets are ready. Let's go.
I really hope so. So far, apparently they've looked good, but it's
I haven't
spring.
watched much, so I don't know. But
I haven't watched. I think I saw like one game.
yeah,
I got the package. So all right, I'm ready. Let's do it.
all right.
Let's get the pre-orders out of the way. I got one release. Another live one from RPWL. It's called True Live Crimes. It's coming out April 12th. It's going to be a double CD. There's going to be a Blu-ray, and there's going to be a 2 LP, I assume black vinyl. And if you're unfamiliar with RPWL, not you, of course, but viewers are unfamiliar with RPWL, they're a German band. If I remember correctly, they started out as a Pink Floyd cover band back in the early days.
Yep.
And there's definitely undercurrents of Pink Floyd in their sound. You know, uh, very popular. So I don't think they ever played here, did they?
Not to my knowledge.
They
No.
didn't, never played Nearfest. I don't think they played
I don't think they played Rosfest.
Rossfest. I don't
No.
think so. Maybe up in Canada or something, but they.
A lot of people do dig them though. They've never really clicked with me for some reason.
Oh, one of our one of our viewers, Ted Bates.
There we go.
We'll call Ted back. All right, let's get on to the regular stock here. We got first thing up, alphabetically speaking, Art of Anarchy, Let There Be Anarchy. So this is, I don't know how you want to call it, if it's like a sister band or something to Whom Gods Destroyed, because it's Bumblefoot's other band, and it's with Jeff Scott Soto. So I guess I don't know how that worked out. So this is the band's third album, and they're on their third vocalist. Scott Weiland was the first singer, and apparently they sued him. Scott Sapp is the second singer, and apparently they sued him. And now Jeff Scott Soto is in, and I just watched a video for one of the tracks on the new album, and somehow, I mean, his career must have really hit rock bottom. Cuba Gooding Jr. is in the video. It's like,
Wow.
it's like, oh my God, what happened to this guy's career?
What's the music like? Because I know like Bumblefoot talked to me about the band when I interviewed him, but I haven't heard a lick of their music. So
Um, it. I only heard the one track. It was good. It was melodic. I mean, I like Jeff Scott Soto,
yeah.
but it wasn't as heavy as Whom Gods Destroy to my ears. And the other thing that I thought was interesting is I guess there are two brothers behind this band, John Vada and Vince Vada. And John is the guitarist. Ron is the other guitarist in the band. He doesn't seem to be the focal point of the band, which I find kind of interesting. It's like if you have Bumblefoot in the band, man, why do you need anybody else, really?
Yeah, you really don't, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
like I
think
said,
Symphony X could easily raise copyright infringement with that mask there.
right. Yeah. It was a hard CD to get. At first, it was out of stock, and it only came out like a few weeks ago, and it had slipped past me. They're on Pavement music, and it slipped past me. Then I ordered copies and was like on back order, and so I think it came out like 2 weeks ago. So it just showed up, and yeah, you know, I guess now we get into the semantics now. Power metal, prog metal. You
Melodic
know,
metal, yeah.
it's yeah. I haven't heard of enough of it to really categorize it, but it. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Now this is to me, this is power metal. Stephen Reed will say that's not power metal, that's speed metal. The new oh well actually I'm out of sequence here. We got in the deluxe version of Bruce Dickinson, uh, the Masquerade Project, and the reason why I'm out of sorts here because it showed up and I didn't put it in the list. So if I remember correctly, this comes with it's like hardbound and like a slipcase. Comes with a comic book you can see in the picture, and it's very sexy and and yeah, that's I'm just adding it to the list, which I'm going to send over to you when I'm done. And the reason I screwed up because I thought we were going to be talking about Dragon Force.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
So yeah, Warp Speed Warriors, a band that is out of my area of interest, but they're very popular. Right?
They were when they first kind of hit the scene on their third album, like that. The third album was the one that really got them a lot of attention. I was into them for about like a week, and then like with the next album after that, I was like, all right, this formula has kind of like I'm a little tired of it already. They're great musicians. The stuff is technically impressive, but I don't really get a lot out of them anymore. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of like there's a lot of power metal there. There's also speed metal there. There's some tech metal and video game metal. It's just all this blazing kind of like wankery type stuff. It's like you either love it or you don't. But they're amazing musicians. I will give them
Yeah,
credit for that.
I just got to, I'm getting repetitive, but for me, I've been selling metal forever, for a really long time. Prog metal is my thing. Power metal, not so much, but my customers like it, and we cater to what my customers want. So I'm happy to bring in things like Dragon Force. It sells. Do I listen to it? No, it doesn't matter what I listen to. So I listen to jazz albums. I don't sell jazz. So, so it's there if you want it.
What label are they on now?
Whew.
Is it Napalm maybe? I don't even know.
Napalm. Napalm.
Okay.
Was
Because
they on?
everybody's on Napalm these days, right?
Yeah, it's true. But weren't they on like a major at one point? Oh no,
Weren't they on Nuclear Blast at one point?
could be.
God, it's going back a ways. I thought they were on Nuclear Blast for a couple albums, but I could be wrong. It was a bigger label. I don't
By the
remember.
way, you're shaking. Your monitor is shaking.
Oh, yeah, it's because I'm getting old.
Oh, okay. You're getting excited about Dragon Force, man.
Yeah, trying to
So,
jog my memory, like, come on.
yeah. All right. The next one is a little bit more up my alley. Uh, Embryo Apocalypso. So Embryo was great German. Well, it started out kind of like a psychedelic krautrock band, got into jazz rock, became a very big component of what they did. At one point, Mal Waldron and Charlie Mariano were in the band. This, and then eventually the band sort of went off into like world music territory. They like they went off to the Middle East and they started recording with various musicians from the Middle East, and the music just sort of like totally veered off. This is like a really bad cover for actually a pretty decent album. It's kind of a weird
It's a
cover.
terrible cover.
Yeah, this was their 1977 release, and it came out. I think a Spanish label, Disconform, did it on CD. I think about around '99. It's been out of print for many years. So the Garden of Delights label out of Germany just reissued it, and I think there are bonus tracks on it. And I'm going to talk about Garden of Delights a bit in a few minutes. So I to me, Embryo is a great band. This is after Mariana left, I believe, but
Roman Bunker's on the band, is on the album, and there's somebody at my front door, and they'll get themselves in here by themselves. Firewind, Gus G on guitar. Power metal, speed metal, what do you want to call it?
Power metal.
All right. Calling Stephen Reed. So
Gave that a very good review.
did you hear it yet?
No, I haven't heard it personally, no.
I love the cover,
Well,
actually.
the cover's great. All their albums are very solid. They've never put out a bad album.
You know what? It showed up yesterday. It's selling like crazy already.
Yeah.
We always sell a lot of Firewind. So next one, I know nothing about. Lionheart, The Grace of a Dragonfly. I believe it's their second or third album. All I know is it's like AOR melodic rock. That's what they call it. And
Yeah, one of my guys reviewed that on the webzine, gave it a very positive review. I think it's got a form one of the old guys. Isn't Dennis Stratton, formerly of Iron Maiden, in that band? I think
maybe
the same band.
and it's on Frontiers, I think.
Yeah.
That'll give you an idea. All right, this is a good band, Lords of Black.
Oh yeah.
Mechanics of Predacity. I had to actually look up what predacity means. I never heard the word before. And you know what? I forgot what it means. I forgot. But Ronnie Romero on vocals, and to me, he's a little bit like Dino Jalusic, a little bit of a chameleon. He kind of a Ewan Landy. He kind of fits whatever he needs to do. He was in Rainbow. So
play with Michael Schenker, play with Adrian Vandenberg. He's in Elegant Weapons with Richie Faulkner from Judas Priest. He's done lots of stuff.
Good singer. And my feeling is if you're good enough for Richie Blackmore, you're a pretty good singer.
That's a really good band. I have all their prior albums, and I chat with Tony Hernando, the guitar player, quite regularly. So he's sending me a copy, and I'm sure it'll be really good. All their albums are really good.
There you go. All right, next up, let's go back to Germany. Mrs. Beastley, Minden, 1976. So, are you familiar with Mrs. Beastley at all, Pete?
Heard the name. Yeah, I've never heard the album, though.
You would love this band. So, Mrs. Beastley were a 70s German, I'll call them a jazz rock band. I wouldn't call them a fusion band. Maybe early on, they were a little loose, had a little bit more like a krautrock vibe. Great musicians, and they just put out a series of great albums. And Garden of the Lights put out this is a previously unreleased live show from 1976. This is right in your wheelhouse. Next one as well. Release Music Orchestra. So Release Music Orchestra recorded for the Brain label in the 70s, the great German Brain label. And there are a handful of bands, of albums, of classic albums that came out on Brain that have never been released on CD. Gash, Young Man's Gash, and I think there were 4 Release Music Orchestra albums on Brain, and never been released on CD. Garden of the Lights have done some archival live recordings, put them out, and this is a new one from Vlotho, 1977. And man, these guys just absolute fire. And what I'm hoping is Made in Germany is now, that the German label, that's like they're starting to tap into that stuff. And they, so I suspect at some point we're going to see like a double CD or something, or a Release Music Orchestra box, or it's right in their wheelhouse. In fact, they're going in Germany. I just saw they're going to be doing some old German releases on vinyl. Weed, you ever hear Weed?
Heard the name, but never listened to them.
Had some of the guys from Uriah Heep on it, and I think Ken Hensley was on it, and really good.
And there was another one. It's coming out in May, so it's like I ordered them and they're already out of my.
Oh, I know that band. Yeah, we did. That was like a little studio thing they did. Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
album. Really great
Yeah,
album.
so that's
Couldn't
coming.
use Ken's name on it because of yeah, rights issues.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like Made in Germany is tapping into that whole thing,
I mean,
which is
MIT
good.
does really good jobs on all their reissues. I mean, the packaging is always good. It's good sound on them. So they've been last couple of years, they've been kind of hitting it out of the ball.
Yeah. So I gotta believe, like I said, there's just a few bands that just I can't explain it to me. The Release Music Orchestra was one of the best bands on Brain. They never put out any of their albums on CD. And also Gash, A Young Man's Gash is another one. Just never come out. And so yeah, I haven't heard this one yet. It just showed up this morning. And but I love this band. They had one of their studio albums, Garuda, is one of the great jazz rock albums of the 70s. Just phenomenal. All right. The next two, again, right in your wheelhouse, man. This is gonna be an expensive week for you, Pete. I'm telling you. Two albums from Sunbirds. So
Already have them.
you have them.
I bought them from you a while. You had the last time you had them in stock. I bought
Yeah.
them.
So you know what? They're so good and they sell well. So I went a little heavier on them. So I should talk about them a little bit. They were a jazz rock ensemble, and Philip Catherine played guitar on the first one. Klaus Weiss, I think, was the drummer, and I'm forgetting who the keyboard player is on this one. And but it's really, really tight, really, really good. Just a little, maybe there's flute, a lot of flute on the album. And on the second one, which is Zagara as well, Ron Carter's playing bass on Zagara. And Philip Catherine's not on guitar, a different guitar player, but again, really good. So I highly recommend those albums if you're into 70s jazz rock. All right, again, not the first time on CD, but I think the first time in a while that this has been on CD. Tritonus, Garden of the Light. Have you heard Tritonus? Tritonus, they were, I don't want to call them like a poor man's Triumvirate or poor man's ELP, but they were like a poor man's ELP. They were keyboards, bass, drums. They had two studio albums, self-titled and Between the Universes. And Peter Seeler, the keyboard player, he went on to doing a lot of new age and electronic stuff later on. But early on, he was playing a lot of organ, mellotron, there's a lot of synthesizer. Again, definitely, if you're into that keyboard, bass, drums trio kind of a thing, Tritonus were good, and this is their first one. So next thing, which I think we've kind of talked about this a bit, right? Whom Gods Destroy. So we have two versions of it. We have the regular plain old CD, and we have the 2 CD media book. Your album of the year so far?
Possibly top 5 so far. Yeah, I wouldn't argue that much. Yeah, I don't know if album of the year or not yet, but
it's early, right?
It's early.
It's early.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
it's quite good.
So one of the things I did want to mention, Garden of Delights. So Garden of Delights came out with these a bunch of new titles which I brought in, and I restocked a lot of old titles which I've had. And just to make it easier for people, I've set up a section on the front of the website. Small quantities, they're going to come and go. But if you like 70s German progressive rock or just a prog rock fan, you should check it out, because there's all kinds of stuff there. Bands like Gila, Guru Guru, Faithful Breath, first 2 Faithful Breaths. I got them back in stock. Ardo Dombeck. There's Exponent. There's all kinds of crazy German stuff. It's worth your time to focus on it. And I put those new titles, which I mentioned, the Embryo, Mrs. Beastley, Release Music Orchestra, Sunbirds, Tritonus. I stuck them right at the front of that section. It's right below the featured releases on the front of the website. So All right. Vinyl. So I'll run through these quick. Alpha Centauri by Alpha Centauri, French prog band. Uh, Original copy was, I think they pressed 300 copies. Crazy rare, kind of dark prog that the French seem to like, sort of like Metabolism, something like that. Something they would have been fine on like the Crypto label. Also a little bit like a Toll. There's a symphonic element to them. So we've got that now. Banana. So Banana were, yeah. So I used to sell this on CD for many years ago. I still have it on CD. So Banana was an Argentinian band, and apparently they're called Banana because the keyboard player's nickname was Banana. And this was like this was like their third or fourth album. They had put out mostly pop albums, and then there was a big lineup change, and they jumped on board and went, the prog wagon, and went in that direction. It's got like a bit of a Yes and Genesis influence. Not bad. It's actually not bad.
Never heard of it.
But I'm not telling you should run out and buy a turntable for that one, but this one is hard to even read. Le Grand Nebuleux. Et c'est l'avours des consciences. Consciences? It just absolutely killed a language in one shot. That was awful. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Us dumb Americans, man, trying to speak another language.
I really look ignorant, don't I? So that was
I do it all the time. I try my best. It's all you can do, right?
The French is hard.
It's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard.
And I took Spanish in junior high school. I had like 7 years of Spanish. I can't speak a word of it, but I could fake it. I could fake it. French, oh damn, they made a very, very good album in the 70s. Very Zappa-esque. This is unreleased recordings, and kind of crazy French shit, and but good, And the last thing we have is Whom Gods Destroy. We have it on double LP. We have it on dark green vinyl. We just restocked it on custard colored vinyl, and black vinyl is going to be here soon. And that's Teddy Bates again. And Ted will watch us and will say, "Wow, you mentioned me twice."
Twice. He's persistent.
He's persistent, yeah.
You can always answer the phone and say, "Teddy, say hello to everybody else," right?
When he calls back, I'll call back. We'll keep trying. So this is early for him. Usually he calls at like 5:50 on Friday.
Right before you're ready to close. Yeah, exactly.
I'm firing up the grill, And that's what we got this week. There's all kinds of stuff coming in. There's some hopefully there'll be some cheap shit next week.
Okay.
And I know we have that Coliseum box set coming. There's a 6 CD Coliseum box set, and some other things as well. So
cool.
Should be good. So we'll be good.
Sounds good. As always, lasercd.com is the URL. I'll have that pinned down below, along with all of the titles that Ken mentioned today, so you guys can copy and paste onto the website. And happy shopping, of course, as always.
Buy a lot, buy often.
There you go.
Hey, Easter's coming up, right?
It is. It is.
Perfect gift giving season.
Buy some prog for your friends and family.
Yeah.
They'll either love you forever, or they'll never forgive you, right?
Hide it under your painted egg.
Yeah.
So, your chocolate bunny.
Instead of sending the kids out hunting for Easter eggs, they'll hunt for prog CDs.
There you go. That's what it is, man.
Twigs and
That's
stuff,
what
right?
it is. Perfect.
What better Easter gift than Whom Gods Destroy, right?
Yes. I couldn't think of anything better.
Thank you, Mr. Easter Bunny.
Yeah. Great.
All right, everybody. Thanks for checking out this week's episode of the Professor's Picks. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together. All the
All the
damn
damn
time.
time.
Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Pinned in the comments will be all the information discussed today. And we'll see you next week here on the Professor's Picks. Tune in tomorrow, the review crew. We've got Jamie Laszlo and his band of merry men and women talking about the brand new Bruce Dickinson and the brand new Judas Priest. They're going to do a matchup, deep dives on both. Which one do they all like best? You'll see tomorrow. And then, of course, I will be ranking the catalog of the great German thrash titans creator on Sunday. So that's coming up over the weekend. Till next week, I am Pete Pardo for Ken Golden. Have a good weekend, everybody. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye.